Now the news is this. I will break it here. Should I break it?
Break it.
Yes. Now that the season 3 has been announced, you know what to expect or which countries you want to see.
I don't know if you've been following Flying Flags. His name is Xavier Daite Tulasi Humphreyson. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Amazing. This guy, I don't know, like, he literally picked a motorbike and decided to ride across the African continent. I mean, West Africa. What happened? Like, how did you bet that idea or passion?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how it all started. I didn't start as a motorcycle enthusiast, but I got the opportunity to work in northern Ghana. If you are in northern Ghana, it's more like you need motorcycles to commute around villages. Yeah, I was serving as a missionary basically. So that was where I was forced to learn a motorcycle, I think about 6 years ago. The encouragement came by that. And so as I ride around northern Ghana, and I realized that I was becoming a motorcycle enthusiast. So I moved from smaller motorbikes to the middleweight and decided that if that's the case, if I could ride from northern Ghana all the way to southern Ghana, then that means I can do longer motorcycle trips. So I decided that, okay, let me hop on a bike and ride around West Africa. I think that also came because I was working in Sierra Leone. And in Sierra Leone too, they use a lot of motorbikes to commute around towns. Yeah, so I felt like I had a motorbike in Ghana and then I'm in Sierra Leone and I need to pay to get to 1 or 2 places on a motorcycle. So that sort of upset me a bit, a positive upset really. So I came back and I was like, okay, this time I'm going back to Sierra Leone, but I'll ride. So that's how it started. And I was able to ride around the sub-region, 10 countries basically.
10 countries?
That's right. And these countries were Ghana, where we are currently. Then I went to Cote d'Ivoire, of course Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau. I went to Senegal, then I went to the Gambia, and then I went to Senegal again because Senegal surrounds Gambia. And then Mali, Burkina Faso, and then back into Ghana.
Amazing.
I tell you.
So in the season 1, it was Daite STH.
Yeah.
And then you changed it to Flying Flags.
Yes.
Why was it like that?
You know, if you have a Google account and you are registering or creating a YouTube channel, it is your Google name. The name you used on in your Google email, that's what's going to show. So I created a channel with my Google name. But then the Flying Flags idea was already there. When I started on the road later on in the season 1, I changed the name from Daite STH to Flying Flags. It is very important for us to know that a national flag is the pride of the country. A national flag also symbolizes the unity of the people. A national flag tells you the history of how that particular country gained independence or their freedom. To have a particular country's flag on my motorcycle makes me feel that I am part of that country. It is a blessing. God bless that country. So I'm part of the blessing of that country. I'm part of the freedom of that country. It means I'm united with the people of that country and I feel part of them. It doesn't matter whether we are here in Africa, but anywhere I go in the world, once I see your flag, it's a sense of pride that I am part of your history. I am part of your independence. I'm part of your unity. I'm part of your freedom. But anytime I see even the Ghanaian flag, when I'm outside the country, I feel so proud that this is the Ghanaian flag, which tells the story of how Ghana gained independence. The red symbolizes the blood and toil of our forefathers. The gold in the middle symbolizes the mineral wealth of the country. The green represents the vegetation, the rich vegetation the country has, and then the black in the middle basically means we are a black star. Amazing. As a nation. So flags are very important to me, and as you can see, I'm wearing Gambia. Once I am in your flag, feel part of you. So basically, that's why I chose Flying Flags.
Awesome.
But if you look at my YouTube handle, it is still at STH.
Oh, okay.
But the main channel name is Flying Flags.
Flying Flags.
That's right.
Now let's come to the real deal. A lot of people would love to travel, explore the continent.
That's right.
But if they're going to do that, they want it to be by, let's say, air.
Yeah.
They want to be on a flight, or in a worst case scenario, in the hardest way for them, they'll resort to a car.
That's right.
But you chose a motorcycle.
Yes.
How was the experience? How was it?
Yeah. Of course, we know now, I mean, statistically, air travels is the safest and the fastest, the most convenient one. But motorcycle, I have come to love motorcycle. And it feels like if you are on a motorcycle, you are part of the language, you are part of the people, you are part of the culture, you are part of the society, you are part of the community. It may be longer, but you see, you get the opportunity to experience the people. If you are on a motorcycle, everything around you travels with you. You know, the vegetations are traveling with you, the people are traveling with you, the officers are traveling with you. Everything around you is traveling with you. You know, and that for me, I think we are a community, we are a people. The Africa that I live in, I need to know the continent. I need to experience the people, the different languages, the food, you know. And if I were to do that by air, I wouldn't get the opportunity to do so. And it is expensive to travel by air. I don't have enough resources to travel by air to explore all the countries on the continent. But if I hop on a motorcycle and I can fuel it, just feel free and then ride around.
What are some of the best experiences you encountered?
I would say it's the people. You know, you get to a place where it is dark and you need a place to sleep. You just walk into a village, it's night, and then I need a place to sleep. They'll open their homes to you.
Huh?
Yeah. For me, I think it's been the best experience I've had. Villages
like that.
Just like that. It happened to me in Guinea. It happened in Mali. It happened in Senegal. As for Sierra Leone, it's just amazing. You know, of course, I know people in Sierra Leone, but so far the best time. I mean, if you talk about friendliness and welcoming and hospitality, I'll give it to Sierra Leone.
Hey, but these are countries that people go like, oh, you don't go to that country. There are rebels. There's still happening there. What about that?
Yeah, I think that's the main idea. I do not underestimate the political instabilities and the religious persecutions and other stuff. But you see, there are lovely people out there on the continent. If you get to explore, if you get to take a move, you know, the things you see in the news, you wouldn't come across them, you will not experience them. You just meet lovely people.
Do you think the news is exaggerated?
I would say so. Because sometimes they exaggerate it. An event occurred somewhere, they pick it up and then they explode it, make it big. And to create a picture or an impression that it is a general perception, but it is certainly not true. I was in Mali. I had a lovely time in Mali. I know that, certain parts of Mali you have to be careful, but generally speaking, Mali is a beautiful country and a beautiful place. I was in Burkina Faso. Of course, I accept that recently there have been issues, violence and all of that, but generally speaking, people are doing their businesses normal, people are interacting normally, people are welcoming, people are still lovely. Burkina Faso is home, Mali is home, Senegal is home, Gambia is home. Many times we focus too much on the negativities and we don't focus on the good things our people have to offer to us. I see a lot more in people.
Amazing.
You know, so.
What are some of the experiences that you had and you were like, nah, like the worst ones?
It's just one, and that is the officers at the borders. Immigration, police, soldiers, whoever is placed at the border or checkpoint, they are the trouble. I travel with all documents, all required documents. I pay taxes where I'm supposed to pay. I pay road tolls where I'm supposed to pay. I make sure that I don't have problem with the authorities of the member states that I'm visiting. But you get to the border, there is some officer there who is there for his pocket and not because of you. And this is not to paint Ghana clean. I'm talking about West Africa. Ghana is included. Can you imagine? I get to to a border, and then an officer tells me to pay money after checking all my documents, and I ask a question, why do you want me to pay? And then they tell you, you know the customs, which means whether you have the right documents or not, you still pay.
So see.
And then they will say something like, are your Ghanaian officers at the borders not also doing it to our citizens? Oh yes. Côte d'Ivoire asked me the same thing. Senegal asked me. And then I said to them, I am not denying to bribe you because I am painting Ghana white. I am saying all of you are wrong, including Ghana, and something must change. The worst experiences that I've had, they were perpetrated by officers who are supposed to protect me on the road. Every traveler who gets to the border is asked to pay money, whether their documents are correct or not. In fact, they're not even interested in your documents. Many times they're interested in the money you give to them. And for me, that is the worst experience I've had traveling. It's terrible. They know clearly, very well, that you are not supposed to pay monies to them, but they frustrate you. You know, and they can ask as low as 1,000 CFA. And 1,000 CFA is like 20 cedis. Oh yeah, it's like 20 cedis, and somebody can assault you.
$1.5.
Something like that. You know, somebody can assault you if you fail to give them, or if you insist on your West African citizenship to try to shy them away from you paying bribes to them, they can assault you. And I have come across such officers. Of course, there are good officers. Anytime I get to a border in West Africa, it depresses me because I know I'm going to speak to some officer who is there for his pocket and not for the people. I was at a Senegalese border. You know that story.
I know the story.
Yes.
But you say, I can't say it.
Exactly. You know, and I just said in the video before I got to the border that border crossing in West Africa depresses me. As soon as I got there, it happened. It almost ended into an argument with me and the officer. But once I bypassed there and then I got to the next town, I met a wonderful, lovely Senegalese man who welcomed me. We exchanged contacts, we talked, we laughed, we talked about Africa, and I was just telling him how sad I felt at the border and then how excited I feel meeting him, you see. And it's not just in Senegal, almost all the borders across the continent. But that is to say, West Africa, we are in trouble. If you look at the West Africa, the ECOWAS treaty, we are supposed to remove every barrier for citizens in the region. But the very people who are supposed to remove the barriers are placing the barriers there for us. And I'm saying it again, in West Africa, my worst experience is at the borders, nowhere else.
Amazing. If somebody wants to grab a bike and hit on the road and start exploring the continent, what are some of the documents they will need? Exactly,
yeah, and thankfully I brought some of them here. I think the first thing you need is your passport. As a Ghanaian, if you have an ECOWAS passport, you should be able to travel across all 50 member states. So the 50 member states in West Africa, with Ghana inclusive, we have Togo, we have Benin, we have Nigeria, we have Niger, we have Burkina Faso, Mali, we have Senegal, we have Cape Verde, we have Guinea, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Côte d'Ivoire, and Liberia. Some countries like Guinea will demand you to show your ECOWAS ID card. In Ghana, we call it the Ghana card, which is this one. So Guineas, for example, I think they are changing their laws. They are no longer really interested in passports. But once you have your ECOWAS identity card, you are free to go.
They'll let you pass.
I experienced it in Guinea. When I got to the border, I showed my passport. The officer put my passport aside and asked me to show my Ghana ID card. I showed it to him and then we are done. In fact, he didn't stamp my passport. He just looked at my ID card, took my details on the ECOWAS ID card, and that was it.
What was the name?
Unfortunately, I didn't pick his name because he wasn't wearing a name tag.
Amazing.
But that was a very beautiful experience I had with that officer in Guinea.
If you recognize this face, he's giving you a shout out over here. Shout out to you, of course.
Shout out to you, that Guinean officer.
Amazing.
You made my day that particular afternoon. It was an afternoon, actually. Health-wise, you need your yellow fever prophylaxis card. And with this current COVID issues that we are in, definitely some countries would demand that you show a COVID vaccine card. You have it. So this is for you. Passport, national ID, yellow fever prophylaxis card, and then you have your COVID vaccine card as well. For the bike, as a Ghanaian, my customs document, the DVLA registration document, you know, and then also the insurance should be able to cover the bike. The insurance that I bought covered the bike. And also don't forget your driver's license. So that's for the bike.
Okay.
Your driver's license, the DVLA, which is the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority document for the bike, insurance for the bike, the customs clearance or road paperwork for the bike, those should be fine to carry you along. So that's all you need, basically. For those many people who are drivers in Ghana, you are familiar with this paper. It's like your passport to travel across West Africa. Yeah, so what I just mentioned is for West Africa. Once you have that, you should be able to move freely in the region without any issues. But if you intend to move outside of the ECOWAS community or the ECOWAS sub-region, you might want to get international driving permit, which means you are now going into Central Africa, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Northern Africa, or even US or Europe, and you are a driver, a rider, you may need this. Yeah.
So now, of course, you murdered the season 1.
Yeah.
You're also done with season 2. Do you plan continuing?
So announcing the season 3, this video is basically to review and wrap up on season 2. And to thank you all who have been so supportive, and your comments, the encouraging words I see in the comment section is very, very helpful. And I can't mention names, but you know yourselves already. Thank you very much, and wherever you are, God bless you. Now the news is this. I'll break it here. Should I break it?
Break it.
Yes. If you could see on one of the side boxes of this motorbike, there is a Borderless Africa right on it. And that is the big project. Yes. With my friend here.
I'm part of it.
You are part of it. With my friend Goshes. So now it's not only flying flags on this Borderless Africa trip.
Now if you can see the flying flags YouTube logo over here.
That's
and
right.
then when you look at this part, you see Goshes over here.
Yeah.
So it's a collaborative work this time.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah. We have another brother, and we will soon introduce him on the channel. So it might be 3 of us this time. Going to be me, Goshes, and another gentleman called Echo. And we are traveling across 4 regions on the continent. And we look forward to covering at least 30 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. So we will travel a bit of West Africa, we will do Central Africa, we will do Southern Africa, and we'll do Eastern Africa.
Amazing.
So if you are watching from anywhere on the continent, look out for us in your country, and we would like to catch up with you. Today is 11th February. We're going to be updating as we travel. Now that the season 3 has been announced, you know what to expect or which countries you want to see. And my friend is also actively involved in high school events on the continent, and the name of the project is High Schools Africa. And he's taking the opportunity to explore the beautiful secondary schools that we have across the continent. And this is going to be, I mean, once in a while, some of these footages will pop in the flying flags footages for you to see what my friend is doing. But I also put the channel link in the description so that you can go see what he's doing with high schools. But a lot more is going to happen on his channel this time. Over the years, he's been doing Ghana, and he did a little bit of Uganda. But now, a lot more African secondary schools are going to pop in, and then you'll see the beautiful high schools we have.
Amazing.
We want to show you more of the African continent from an African perspective.
No fake news.
No fake news. Yeah, no fake news. So we are hoping to encourage our officers, encourage our leaders that if it is ECOWAS, remove the barriers. If it is African Union, remove the barriers.
Borderless.
Let young people be able to travel. Make it borderless. Okay, so that we can enjoy the continent we are in. Many young people are not enjoying the continent because of the stress they face at the borders. Because they know when they come there, you harass them, you detain them, you assault them. It's not fair. So as you can see, if you followed me in the season 2, you could tell that this wasn't the bike I used in the season 2. Unfortunately, my Honda Transap XL 600V, I damaged it. And if I say I damaged it, it's because I had allowed the engine oil to run out and I was still riding it. I didn't know actually. So my engine is broken. We're planning to ride together, but I don't have a bike now. We will use his bike to start. For now, he's the passenger, I am the rider, but he's the owner of this Honda Transap XL 400V.
Amazing.
A Japanese bulletproof motorbike that we got to go on this trip. So that's the update on my Transap. You might not see it in the episode for a while, or it may never show up depending on how things are going to turn out.
Amazing.
Yes.
So also to say, if you can help us secure a new engine for Flying Flags bike, which is the Honda Transap 600, I mean, just get in touch. His email is here. Send him an email and then tell him that you buy a new engine for him. I think it's about $1,000 or something, even lesser than that.
Yeah.
So so check up on his YouTube channel right now, Flying Flags, and then hang around for the season 2. Season 3
Yes.
of the Flying Flags adventure with awesome stories.
Yes.
Amazing.
Actually excited about it, and I look forward to riding with you and Echo.
Amazing.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's it, and God bless you. Bye for now.